AM 560. The Answer.
News, a monkey-carrying truck has just crashed in Mississippi and all the monkeys scattered. According to authorities, the rhesus monkeys were on their way to a testing facility in Florida after being at Tulane University and require PPE just to handle personal protective equipment. The monkeys were about 40 pounds each and were reported to have been aggressive as well. They are also carrying the hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID viruses.
Who gave the monkey herpes? Which mad scientist decided let's give the monkey herpes? Fracking idiots. Yeah, you're a doctor. Mike.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Mike, if you see a screaming monkey with herpes running at you, please lock the door.
Well, Sean, look, I might be a little nervous because I've been listening to you since you were basically the first caller on Dan and Amy's show.
Oh, thank you.
And but I just want to let parents know that something like this is coming, close to home with this new rule from Chicago Public Schools that all children from 4th grade to 12th grade every year has to have a mental screening. Imagine your kid off that list. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? How about in the 70s when the old man's a bricklayer with a little bit of a Schlitz problem? Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
can you imagine?
Anything. Your kid is going through puberty, and oh my gosh,
Mike,
they're going to take them away from you.
It was Bruce Rauner. Bruce Rauner, who I think opened the door, signed the first red flag law. You remember that with the guns? And then they started. The pediatricians would ask the kids, "Did your parents have guns in the house?" I told my wife, "We're getting the hell out of here. We're getting out of here. This is the Soviet fracking Union." Moron,
and
Illinois.
You're a Republican.
Illinois bureaucrats, the simpletons whose biggest challenge is when's break. You guys are going to make the decisions on mental health? To me, if you're dumb enough to be a Democrat, you have a mental problem. Thank you very much, Mike. Man, oh man. Paul, Blue Island.
Sean, hi, it's so nice to talk to you, finally.
You too.
And you're talking about cancer. Have you heard of Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong?
I have not.
I mean, you should check this guy out. I mean, I've seen him on Mark Halperin's podcast, on Sean Spicer's podcast. He developed this stuff called BioShield, where it gets your body to kick up the killer cells that kill the cancer cells. And he said it's just an uphill battle. Like you said, there's so much money in the way they treat people with chemotherapy and radiation and all that crap. He says when you're giving that crap to people, your body can't defend itself against cancer.
Paul, there was just a guy that called in. He couldn't wait, and he was a wonderful guy from my old neighborhood. And he said, I'm going through. I don't want to give somebody advice when it comes to if you're dealing with it, but I have to say, if God forbid this is something you're dealing with, and I dealt with this with my mother, I dealt with this with my uncle, I dealt with this with various relatives who I loved, and when you're in the process, you're not of your right mind because you're just trying to solve the problem. But the fact that these so-called doctors do not tell you specifically what options you may have outside of just do the usual that has, what is it? I don't even think is it 63% or 58% survival rate, chemotherapy? That's it. And they want to blame it on the cancer. And it reminds me, never forget what happened during the COVID years. How many of these crooked hospitals and crooked doctors frauded the information to put people on ventilators. It wasn't just the ones that were ordered by Cuomo. All of the nonsense that happened during that. I'll tell you right now, the first thing, and I'm that serious, the first thing when I meet somebody who wants me to believe because they're a profession, they have character or intelligence, are you a Democrat? Are you a Democrat? Have you voted for Democrats? Because if you are, I don't care what you say your degree is, you're a scoundrel to me. And that's the only way you could explain what our treatment is. They've been doing the same treatment for cancer with little tweaks for how many decades? And yet you have all of these experiences where people go outside of what is considered conventional health care. And they survive. And something like this where the young boy, he's too healthy, he looks too good. Are you out of your mind? I don't know how you could, I don't know why you would talk to it during the treatment. That's
exactly.
To me insane.
Exactly. And one thing, Sean, this guy, Dr. Soon-Shiong, he did get it approved from the FDA to treat bladder cancer, and he's had people 10 years out where there's no cancer after doing this treatment. So, people are interested, Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong.
Yeah, well, that's great. I really appreciate it, Paul, and we will take it up, and we will see what we can do to get him on, all right? Thank you very much for making time.
Thank you, Sean. Take care.
You too, brother. And never forget just how they get all the approvals. They bribe them like heroin addicts on the corner of Western Avenue.
Another question for you. The NIH continues to refuse to voluntarily divulge the names of scientists who receive royalties and from which companies. Over the period of time from 2010 to 2016, 27,000 royalty payments were paid to 1,800 NIH employees. We know that not because you told us, but because we forced you to tell us through the Freedom of Information Act. Over $193 million was given to these 1,800 employees. Can you tell me that you have not received a royalty from any entity that you ever oversaw the distribution of money in research grants?
Well, first of all, let's talk about royalties.
That's the question. No, that's the question. Have you ever overseen, have you ever received a royalty
You rat
payment?
pig. And I think you're the one that decided to give the monkey herpes, you sick bastard. But I've always known what the goal is. Always.
First of all, you haven't publicly commented on this so far. Do you stand by the comments in that video?
The comment in the video were made at an academic conference. I was speaking off the cuff. And
another Massachusetts hero, John Kerry, from Republican for Elected Staff, came up with a great substitute idea. They said, look, what you economics nerds want to do is you want to say that for people with expensive health insurance plans, they will no longer get a 40% tax break. What if we instead just levied a 40% tax on the insurance companies that sell these terrible expensive Cadillac plans? We said, well, that's pretty much the same thing, but why does it matter? I said, you'll see. And they were both in that passed. Because the American voter is too stupid to understand the difference. So basically,
And who Jonathan Gruber was talking about, too stupid, are all the Democrats. And 50% of the moron Republicans that pretend it's actually a health care scheme rather than medical fascism.
We're learning more tonight about what may be in the Republican plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. One crucial point, Medicaid expansion. Correspondent Peter Ducey has the latest.
Fans of Obamacare like to point out that more than 26 million people got coverage through the law, but a majority got covered through expanded state Medicaid programs, which cover low-income Americans. 31 states and the District of Columbia got help picking up the tab with expanded funding from the feds that Republicans suggest will be reduced. But the
And I want you to take in mind every political whore, scum that sold it.
Well, the Trump administration has a strong proclivity to lie.
If they were Hans Christian Andersen, you bust out who couldn't pay your water bill, they still wouldn't be scummy enough to be you, a Democrat. Stay away from the Democrats. They're dangerous, expensive, and stupid. 312-642-5600.
This is the Sean Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.